So in life, you can't really say that, you know, you're unhappy because somebody is making you unhappy, because that person has feelings too. So you always have to analyze a situation, and you got to communicate without yelling and screaming, because nobody's perfect. So if somebody's saying you're doing something wrong and you're not acknowledging it, and other people say you're doing it wrong too, then you really got to self-analyze and look at yourself and say, I must be doing something wrong, because that person is not the only one saying it. So if you see things coming at you the same way, that means it must be happening. So if you're doing something to irritate somebody, or people are saying the same thing about you, then you really need to take a look at yourself. You can't just think that everybody is against you, because I don't see how that could be true. It's got to be you. You have to do a self-analysis. So what you really need to do is look inside yourself and figure out what it is, and try not to do what they say you're doing anymore, and see how that turns out. But if you feel like you got to keep doing that, or you feel like you can't control what you're doing, then that might require some help or some therapy. And because you ain't gonna be able to get along with anybody if you don't get that situation right. So you got to figure it out. Like I said, nobody's perfect. The other party might have a problem too, but if you talk about it and communicate about it and try to work on it, it may work out. But if you can't work on it together, then you both need to go your separate ways, and let somebody else tell you that you're doing what you're doing, and figure that out. But either way, if you're talking to each other and you're trying to figure out where things are going wrong, and you're communicating good, you could probably figure it out. But if you really got a short fuse and you're like saying, nah, I ain't trying to hear it, and all right, well then take it somewhere else and see if somebody else is trying to hear what you're saying. But other than that, that's the only way I can see something working. You got to get together and figure it out. Life is short, and if you've been with somebody for so long, or if you've been around somebody for so long, and you're going to continue to be around them, do you think you want to start something over new where you don't know that person don't know you? Figure that out. You got to figure it out. That's just my assessment on things. I think that's